Silence makes people uncomfortable because most men fill space with noise. They talk too much. They explain too much. They react too quickly. And in doing so, they reveal everything, their thoughts, their insecurities, their limits. That's why they're predictable. And predictable men are easy to control. But the man who stays silent changes the dynamic because silence creates tension. People don't know what you're thinking. They can't read you easily. They can't anticipate your next move. And that uncertainty creates respect, not because you demand it, because you don't need to. Silence removes weakness. You don't overshare. You don't overreact. You don't expose yourself unnecessarily. You observe. You process. You decide. And when you finally speak, it carries weight because it's rare, because it's intentional, because it's controlled. Most men speak to be heard. Strong men speak only when necessary. That's the difference. Noise seeks attention. Silence commands it. The more you talk, the less people listen, because talking too much reduces value. Every word you say is exposure. You reveal your thoughts, your intentions, your emotions. And the more you reveal, the less control you have. Most men think speaking more makes them stronger, more confident, more respected, more dominant. It doesn't. It does the opposite. It shows need to be heard, need to be validated, need to fill silence, and need is weakness. Strong men don't rush to speak. They don't interrupt silence. They let it exist because silence filters everything. It forces others to talk more, to reveal more, to expose themselves while you stay controlled, observing, learning, positioning. That's power because information flows to the one who listens, not to the one who speaks. The man who talks too much gives away leverage. The man who stays quiet collects it. And over time, that difference becomes visible. People start watching you more, listening when you speak, respecting your presence, not because you're louder, because you're controlled. Presence is not built by noise. It's built by control. The loudest man in the room is rarely the most respected. He's just the most visible. Invisibility is not power. Control is. The man who stays silent creates something different. Weight. His presence feels heavier, more grounded, more stable, more deliberate, because he is not reacting. He is choosing. Every movement is intentional. Every word is measured. Every action is controlled. And people notice that, even if they don't understand why. Because calm under pressure is rare. Most men shift. They adjust constantly. They react to others. They try to fit in. They try to be liked. The silent man doesn't. He stays the same. No matter the environment, no matter the pressure, that consistency creates intimidation, not fear, respect, because people can't move him easily. They can't influence him. They can't read him. And what can't be read feels dangerous. That's why silence changes how you are perceived. You don't need to prove anything. You don't need to explain anything. You don't need to compete for attention. Your presence does the work. Control comes from information. The more people know about you, the easier you are to control. Your reactions, your emotions, your triggers, all of it becomes predictable. And predictable men are easy to manipulate. They can be pushed, provoked, pressured, because their response is visible, immediate, automatic. But the silent man removes that access. He doesn't react instantly. He doesn't reveal what he feels. He doesn't show what affects him. And that changes everything. Because now, people don't know where to press. They don't know what works. They don't know how to move you. And when they can't move you, they stop trying. That's power. Silence creates a distance between stimulus and response. And in that distance, control is built. You choose how to react, if you react, when you react, or if you stay still. That freedom is what most men lack because they are driven by impulse, emotion, external pressure. The silent man is not. He is deliberate, calculated, stable, and that makes him dangerous. Not because he's aggressive, because he's controlled. Silence is not passive, it's strategic. And like any tool, it must be used correctly. This is the code. First, pause before speaking. Every time. No instant reactions, no emotional replies, no rushed words. You wait, you think, you choose. The pause separates control from impulse. Second, speak less than necessary, not more. Cut unnecessary words, remove explanations, say what matter, and stop, because precision creates impact. Third, don't reveal everything. Your plans, your next moves, your thoughts. Keep them contained, because what is hidden cannot be attacked. Fourth, stay calm under pressure. When others raise their voice, you lower yours. When others react, you stay still, because control and chaos builds authority. Fifth, let silence do the work. In conversations, in conflicts, in decisions, not every space needs to be filled. And often, the most powerful move is saying nothing. And finally, understand this. The man who controls his words controls himself. And the man who controls himself is hard to move, hard to read, hard to defeat. That's why silence is dangerous. Not because it hides weakness, because it reflects control. Use it, not to withdraw, but to dominate quietly. This is disobey your limits.